Our senses are our windows to the world. They allow us to experience the beauty of a sunset, the taste of our favorite meal, and the sound of laughter. But have you ever stopped to consider how these sensations become our reality? What we perceive as reality is not a direct reflection of the world around us. Instead, it's a construction, a mental model carefully crafted by our brains. This model is based on the information our senses collect, but it's also shaped by our experiences, memories, and even our emotions. Understanding how our brains shape reality is crucial. It helps us appreciate the subjective nature of perception. It also allows us to approach disagreements and conflicts with greater empathy. Recognizing that we each experience the world in a slightly different way can foster understanding and tolerance. Our journey into the construction of reality begins with our senses. These remarkable systems act as data collectors, constantly gathering information from our surroundings. Our eyes detect light. Our ears pick up sound waves, our noses sense chemicals in the air, our tongues taste flavors, and our skin feels pressure, temperature, and texture. Each sense organ is specifically designed to detect a particular type of energy. For example, our eyes contain specialized cells called photoreceptors that are sensitive to light. These photoreceptors convert light energy into electrical signals that can be interpreted by the brain. These sensory signals are the raw materials of perception. They provide the brain with the basic building blocks it needs to construct our experience of the world. Without these signals, we would be completely cut off from our surroundings, unable to navigate or interact with the environment. Once sensory signals reach the brain, the real magic begins. The brain acts as a master interpreter, transforming raw signals into meaningful experiences. This process involves multiple brain areas working together. Consider recognizing a friend's face. Your eyes detect light, converting it into electrical signals. These signals travel to the visual cortex to extract features like edges and shapes. This information is relayed to areas involved in memory and emotion to recognize the individual. The brain actively interprets and organizes sensory information. It fills in gaps, makes predictions, and constructs a coherent narrative. Section 4. Perception distortions, when reality gets tricky. Our brains are remarkable but not perfect. They can lead to perception distortions, where our experience of reality differs from the objective truth. One classic example is the visual illusion. Illusions exploit the shortcuts our brains take, leading us to misperceive size, shape, or color. Another example is the placebo effect, where our expectations influence perception. Believing a sugar pill will alleviate pain, our brains may release endorphins, even though the pill has no active ingredients. These distortions highlight the subjective nature of perception. Our reality is a mental model influenced by experiences, expectations, and desires. Section 5. The power of perspective. Understanding that perception is subjective has profound implications. It means that two people can witness the same event and come away with very different interpretations. What one person perceives as a harmless joke, another might experience as an offensive insult. This difference in perception can be a source of conflict, but it can also be a source of richness and diversity. It allows us to learn from each other's perspectives, to challenge our own assumptions, and to develop a more nuanced understanding of the world. Embracing the subjective nature of reality does not mean abandoning the pursuit of truth. It simply means acknowledging that our individual perspectives color our understanding of the truth. By recognizing our own biases and being open to alternative viewpoints, we can strive for a more complete and objective view of the world. Section 6. Conclusion: Reality's subjective canvas. In conclusion, our brains are not simply passive receivers of information, they are active architects, shaping the reality we experience. Our senses collect data from the world around us, but it is our brains that interpret, organize, and construct this data into a coherent and meaningful experience. This process of perception is both remarkable and imperfect. It allows us to navigate a complex world, but it also introduces the possibility for distortions and illusions. Recognizing the subjective nature of perception is crucial for empathy, understanding, and personal growth. Ultimately, our reality is a product of both the world around us and the workings of our own minds. It is a tapestry woven from threads of sensation, perception, memory, and emotion. By understanding how our brains shape reality, we can become more conscious creators of our own experiences and more compassionate interpreters of the experiences of others.